Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got a lot of stuff to cover. We have some new images that have cropped up once again about potential black and white remakes. We have Nintendo Direct rumors, and then we also have some updates on Legend Z8 as well. There's a lot of things to break down and get into today. So if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video, and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, we're going to go over this image, which was pulled up by Soul Silver Art, saying this is probably the first real Generation 5 remake leak, but nobody wants to believe it. Of course, this is said a bit tongue-in-cheek. This came from a real leak in 2020 of a Pokemon Sun and Moon prototype debug. It could mean anything, and still to this day, no one is totally sure. So yeah, this was around 2020. Obviously, it's a prototype of Pokemon Sun and Moon, but they have Generation 5 characters in there. So it could be a good indication of what maybe the Generation 5 games are going to look like. Like, if they are faithful remakes and we do get them this year, I don't know why everybody thinks that they have to be chibi. Like, even if Ilka are working on them, doesn't mean they have to be chibi. Like, every single remake that we've had so far have had a different art style. You know, Fire Red and Leaf Green were different to Heart Gold and Soul Silver, different to Auras, different to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, I understand that obviously Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were the first Pokemon games, or the main series games, that were outsourced, which is why maybe people thinking, oh, if Ilka made those, then maybe they're going to make the chibi versions of Gen 5 as well. But they very well could just look like this. Obviously, they won't look exactly like this because this is 3DS graphics, but it could be this kind of art style, which I really hope it is. You know, I really like this kind of art style, and I feel like it looked really, really good on the Nintendo Switch. Not like chibi. Like, I think my favorite art style for like the remakes was probably Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which were also kind of chibi in themselves, but they just looked a lot better in my personal opinion. They were like kind of not as chibi as obviously Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but they still had that kind of element. But I think that art style was really, really cool, and I would love to see that for Generation 5 as well. But again, like I say, this was a real kind of image. It was from Sun and Moon, so maybe it has some sort of indication of what black and white games are going to look like if we do get them this year or in the future. But obviously a little bit more information about the chances of probably getting a remake this year. You know, simple, the remake isn't tied to Pokemon Legends ZA, so you know, obviously a lot of people are thinking we're definitely going to get it. Like Osmio here saying 75% chance of a remake this year, Soul Silver Art 65 to 70, and then we have this person here saying I put 45 because why would they announce Legends ZA and make Unova remake in between it? Then again, it is Pokemon. And then simple, the remake isn't tied to Pokemon Legends ZA as opposed to 2021 where both the remake and Legends were tied together, which is why we got both of those announcements during the Pokemon Day presentation. Also, the remake could be in early stages, and we see how that went with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Pokemon Works wasn't finalized yet. They wanted more hype on Pokemon Legends ZA, which is obviously kind of all died now anyway. Plus, it's a faithful remake. There's not much to showcase apart from the new graphics, which is very true, you know, like, unless it's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire where they actually introduce new things like new story elements, the Delta episode, new Mega Evolutions and stuff like that. If it's not that and it is just simply a faithful remake, then yeah, they don't really have a lot to show. Like, they may show something new like Ramana's Park and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, so they might show something like that. They may do like a new mythical event for like Victini or Keldeo or Meloetta or something like that, but again, like Osmio says, you know, if it is just a faithful remake, there's not a lot to show. So yeah, I still am hopeful we are going to get a Generation 5 game this year. I do hope it looks like the kind of art style of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well, which obviously look much better graphics because it's on the Switch. But let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this could be some sort of indication of a black and white remake from 2020, or do you think it is just going to be scrapped and never going to be seen again? Anyway, moving on, we have some kind of updates regarding the whole Pokemon Snap situation. We did cover this briefly, but there's been a lot more kind of talk about it, and also the sundial thing from Pokemon X and Y as well. So if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, basically in new Pokemon Snap, you can go to this location here, and it literally has the kind of Lumiose City plan in Pokemon, in like the kind of, I don't even know what it's called, like it's like these ancient paintings and stuff. It also has these Pokemon here as well, like Milotic and Volcarona and Meganium and stuff like that. And we have Light here saying new Pokemon Snap could give us some hints about the plot of Pokemon Legends EA. In the Ruins of Remembrance, there is a mural that resembles Lumiose City with 6 Pokemon inside, being Volcarona, Steelix, Milotic, Meganium, and Wishiwashi, with Xerneas in the middle. It seems that all of them are protecting of the region from a meteorite. In the Delta episode from Auraz, we prevented the impact of a meteorite with Mega Rayquaza. Will happen the same in Pokemon Legends ZA. It could be similar where, you know, Xerneas is going to protect it or something, and you know, I know that Zygarde's kind of the person that kind of brings like peace and everything, or the Pokemon that brings peace and everything, but I feel like these true forms of, you know, Yveltal and Xerneas, I think, will probably be seen in Pokemon Legends ZA. I definitely think that, especially because we got the origin forms of Dialga and Palkia in Pokemon Legends Arceus. And then moving on as well, we have Soul Silver talking about this as well. So 2 big points here. Number 1, spin-off games are usually not canon, not developed by Game Freak, so this may all mean nothing, but if this was Lumiose, the 5 to 6 plazas would be ancient in nature, meaning those spots were there before Lumiose City was. We could also then speculate that it's possible for the Pokemon depicted in the areas to all get Megas or special boss/ride forms. So Milotic, Volcarona, Steelix, Wishiwashi, Meganium, and Xerneas. But I think they were just the special new Snap Pokemon, so this is very unlikely. I believe they were as well. I definitely remember Meganium being a massive part of like Snap in like the trailers and stuff. And then other interesting possibilities are the 5 meteors depicted in the mural that could have landed in those 5 spots. Were they a threat or important in some way? And of course, the big question, what were these 6 Pokemon protecting? Zygarde underneath Lumiose, an alien A Pokemon that fell with those meteors. It could also be an indication of like Chikorita potentially being one of the starters as well of Legends ZA. You know, if Meganium is, you know, one of these Pokemon, which, you know, it is, it could just be a little bit of a hint towards, you know, Chikorita potentially being one of the starters. I know it's very much likely going to be Snivy, but again, if we get Generation 5 games this year, Snivy's obviously going to be one of the starters for that. Are they really going to make Snivy the Generation 5 starter, which obviously has got to be? Would they really do it in Legends ZA as well, like that close? I don't think so. So I think Chikorita would make a really cool grass starter for Legends ZA. They then go on to say, personally, I don't think any of this will connect to Legends ZA. To be honest, we don't even know if the mural is Kalos/Lumiose. It just resembles it and has Xerneas in the middle. Seems like it's just the Lental region. Point number 2 is about Xerneas and Yveltal and how their dormant forms work, which can be realistically applied to other theories and will be soon. And then for those asking about where the 3rd image is from, it's literally those ruins from the new Pokemon Snap in the Lental region. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously another theory. There's a lot of things that kind of make sense. You know, we've got Arctic here saying, I feel like there's actually a point against Pokemon Legends ZA being in the past. They were asleep for 800 years pre-X and Y. The renovation was only 200 years ago, meaning Xerneas and Yveltal couldn't show up. They are asleep. But it's the future. They can just say they are still awake from X and Y, which, yeah, is a good point towards it being set in the future and not in the past. But I feel like we should collectively say that spin-off games are canon, but in different universes that don't affect the main series game universe. So, yeah, I mean, make of it what you will. Like, I think this is quite a big point. Again, it could all mean nothing because obviously it is from a spin-off game, but I don't know. I feel like we still have had spin-off games that have kind of transferred over in the past, like the Manaphy Egg and stuff from Ranger and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But let me know your thoughts on all of that information. And as well as that, we do want to quickly go over this sundial thing as well and how it could potentially be related to Mega Evolution and stuff like that from Soul Silver once again. So been waiting to make a bigger post on the sundial in Pokemon Legends ZA, but I've got to add at least this point to this theory now. So the sundial is connected to Mega Stones too, and just so happens to be the same color as the Pokemon Legends ZA logo and Diancie. So obviously we covered this kind of thing in the past where it was about the title and everything like that. This is kind of a bit of a follow-on from that. So we don't know much about the sundial, so maybe we'll explore its origins more in Pokemon Legends ZA, and maybe it will even be crucial to the plot, hence the pink in the logo. But more than anything, the sundial looks like it's made out of the same gemstones that Diancie's body is made of. So maybe Diancie is the origin of the sundial. Would be a fun topic to explore in Pokemon Legends ZA, in my opinion. As well as that, Diancie is the only Generation 6 Pokemon that can Mega Evolve as well, so that could also be kind of a little bit of a relation to that as well. And then also goes on to say, just going to attach the original post to this so it's easy to put all the pieces together. So the pink color is the logo, the sundial or Diancie or both. Stay tuned for another theory on the mysterious sundial. So, and a lot of people kind of just agreeing with it, really. Like, I think that Diancie is probably going to have, I mean, it's a mythical, like all the mythicals are going to probably pop up in Legends ZA anyway, just like they did in Pokemon Legends Arceus with Shaman and Manaphy, and obviously Arceus and Fion. Like all the mythicals just kind of showed up, Darkrai as well. But in Pokemon Legends EA, you'd expect that as well for Diancie. You'd expect maybe Volcarona and Hooper, all these Pokemon to pop up as well if we are kind of following the same pattern of Legends Arceus. So the fact that Diancie can already Mega Evolve is obviously, I feel like it's going to have more of a point to kind of play in the story, or more of a role to play in the story than the average mythical. But anyway, that's all of the kind of leaks and theories and stuff. We've got this rumor to go over as well about potential Nintendo Directs that was posted on the 1st of April. Obviously, it was posted on April Fool's, but it hasn't obviously been confirmed or denied yet. And they go into detail about multiple different Directs and also a bit of Pokemon Legends EA stuff as well, which is why I wanted to cover it. But either way, it was posted on 4chan, so take it with a massive grain of salt. As you know, we are kind of expecting maybe a Direct this month, just simply because the person that kind of got things right in the past did say there was going to be one this month. We obviously haven't had one yet, but it is the 12th. Well, I'm recording this on the 12th today, but obviously it'll go up over the weekend. But maybe next week we do actually get a Direct announcement. We just don't really know. The whole Nintendo kind of schedule right now is all over the place, especially because of the Nintendo Switch 2 and everything like that. But anyway, let's go over this rumor. As I say, though, take it with a massive grain of salt. But this goes into detail about the next Directs and what we can expect to see and everything in them. So it was posted by Anonymous on the 1st of April, and it says, April's Nintendo Direct is an indie world, so is no first party anything as Endless Ocean, Luminous, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door Remake, and Luigi's Mansion 2 port are enough to have Nintendo cost the rest of the first half of 2024 by themselves. So apparently we're not getting anything apart from like Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion, Princess Peach, stuff like that for the first half of 2024, and that's going to be that. Again, it is mainly going to be remakes and remasters until the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. They're not going to bring like a massive Mario game out on the Nintendo Switch when the Switch 2 is just right around the corner. It makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, this year I would not be surprised. Like in the Direct that we get this year, I would not be surprised just to see a ton of remakes and ton of remasters and stuff, and then just save all the big boys for the Nintendo Switch 2. But anyway, apparently we're going to get an Indie World Direct in April this month. However, we are then apparently going to be getting another Direct in June. Now, June is supposedly when we're going to be, or the most likely scenario as to when we're going to be seeing the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. So what they would probably do here is potentially do a Direct at the start of June for like all of the Switch stuff that we're going to get for the remainder of this year, so remasters, remakes, whatever, and then that'll be like the Direct at the start of June, and then they might do a Direct at the end of June, which could be the Switch 2, and it could also reveal some games that are going to be for the Switch 2 and everything like that. That might be something they do. They could also just do that in April. They could just do the big Direct for the rest of the year, Switch games in April, and then just save like early June for the big Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. We just don't really know. However, though, this person says the June's Nintendo Direct is a partner showcase because Intelligent Systems counts as a partner. Fire Emblem 4 Switch Remake is the only Nintendo published game in this entire June Direct. So yeah, this is a partner showcase. So we've gone from Indie World Direct to partner showcase. So we're kind of, according to this person, getting closer and closer and closer to the bigger Directs, which have got all the juicy information in. So that's April, that's June. We then have September. So September's Nintendo Direct is reserved for next-gen hardware and software. October 2024 for the US and Canada, because Metroid Prime 4 is the only first-party game ready for its October launch. Also, Metroid Prime 4 jumped ship to next-gen. And then December 2024, Japan, January 2025 for Western Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, and March 2025 for secondary markets, being Mexico, Brazil, South Korea, Southeast Asia, etc. I'm not, does this say when the hardware is coming out? And it's coming out in these different places at this different time. I don't know why it wouldn't just be a worldwide release, but I think that's maybe what they're saying. September's Nintendo Direct is reserved for next-gen hardware and software. And then, yeah, it just says all these different months and stuff. I don't really get that. I'm not sure if it's talking about the console itself, because obviously the Direct's not going to come out of different places like that. Just makes absolutely no sense. So I'm assuming they're talking about the console, but I generally don't really know. It's not worded very well. But that takes us all the way up to March 2025. And then there's also a little bit of information about Pokemon Legends EA as well. So Pokemon Legends EA will see release in February 2025. It will be the last first-party Switch game. So they are saying here that it looks like Legends EA is not going to be for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's actually going to be, in fact, the last first-party Switch game for the Nintendo Switch. So it's going to be the last main game for the Nintendo Switch is going to be Pokemon Legends EA. I still think that it could be for the Switch 2 regardless. I don't know why it would. I feel like they would just make more money if they made it for the Switch and the Switch 2. Because not everybody's going to be able to get the Switch 2 straight off the bat, so they'll want to play it on the old gen. But then for people that do have the new gen, they're probably going to want to play Legends ZA on the new gen because it will be a lot better in terms of graphics and quality and everything like that. Releasing in February 2025 is also very interesting as well. Like, it'd have to release at the start of the month, because then we're going to get a presents at the end of the month. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Legends Arceus was very much at the end of January, I do believe. So, and then we obviously got the presents in the February. So, yeah, they probably could just do something like that, but instead of the end of January, just start of February. And then maybe go over it a little bit in the Pokemon Presents in February 2025, but then obviously drop something else, like another announcement. Maybe it's Generation 10 or something else. But either way, I mean, I kind of hope this is true, because there's loads of, like, directs to look forward to. The only thing is, I just don't understand this third point about the kind of Switch 2 stuff. I don't know if that means when the hardware is coming out. Because that means that it doesn't come out... I don't know, because then it talks about Metroid and stuff. I generally don't know. I'm not really too sure, but either way, take it with a grain of salt. We are expecting some sort of direct this month anyway. It could be Partner Showcase, could be Indie World, could be First Partner. We just generally do not know. We're just kind of waiting and seeing. But either way, what are your thoughts on this rumor here about the Nintendo Directs? What are your thoughts on everything else that we've covered as well? What are your thoughts on this image here? And do you think it could be some sort of relation to the potential Generation 5 remakes that we might be getting this year? And as well as that, what are your thoughts on the whole kind of Pokemon Snap situation with Pokemon Legends ZA connections? And as well as that, what are your thoughts on the Sundial as well? Do you think the Sundial is going to play a big part in the Pokemon Legends ZA story? Maybe the creation of the Sundial or something we find out about in the game? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let's try and hit 500. Like I say, leave a comment. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.